Hello and welcome to the final video for week 7. So we've put our lights in on a truss. We've put them into 3D. And actually this is a good example here. You have to be careful which cord it locks to when you're doing truss because some of these ended up at the top truss and some ended up at the bottom. So you might need to manually adjust that Z height in the fixture if that happens. But what we're going to do now, we put some information in these lights, but now we want to see some of this information populate on the light itself, right? On a good plot for electricians, you're going to want to have the channel number, the unit number on the light, and then possibly the color depending on what type of show you're doing and your own personal style. So those are sort of the main three things we want to display here. Now, we have the ability, right? We have text boxes and little bubbles that we could put in and manually add all that information about our lights. But what if there was an automated way to do this? And Vectorworks has thought of that, and they've made label legends, which basically allow you to create a template for each light type, and then use that across multiple lights to be able to do labeling a lot easier. So what you can do is you actually highlight one of the lights that you want to edit. Now, you may need to make a different label legend depending on the type of light. All of the Source 4 series will all work with the same label legend because all that changes is just the markings in the barrel. We're going to Spotlight, Label Legend Manager, and we're going to add a label legend. Hit General. For some reason, it didn't grab the symbol that I want. So make sure you have the symbol selected that you're using. I typically use 36 degree source 4 is sort of the basic. And then these are all the things that you can automatically populate around the light. So the things that we want, so there's a whole bunch of different categories here. The thing that we are going to want are, I'm going to do unit number. So I'm going to check in, this is, it says use in 2D. So we're going to use that in 2D. We're not going to do 3D label legends. Unit number, I'm going to want color, and I'm going to want channel. Sometimes you put dimmer on, but normally these are the three. And most plots that I do now, actually, I just do channel and unit number. So thinking about how we're going to put the labeling on this light, I'm thinking the unit number is probably going to go inside of the body of the light here. I think the color is going to go outside here, and then I think the channel is going to go out the back. Now, I think the channel should have some sort of container around it. So over here you have different options of containers: circle, rectangle, hexagon, triangle, etc. You can make your own and put them in the container folder. But for right now, we just use the basic one. For channel, circle is a fairly universal thing that people use. So we're going to hit OK. And then we're going to make it the active legend. And what that means is that any light that you make now will automatically have this label legend assigned to it. So we hit done, and now we have a label legend. So let's assign a label legend to one of our lights. Let's go to this one, and we're going to right click, assign legend to instruments. And the only option we have is general. Now, if some reasons why you may need multiple label legends per light is, for example, if you have one for like when the light's facing forward or backward versus when the light's a side light. So you may have different label legend needs for that. So I'm going to hit general, I'm going to hit OK. And now look what happens here. All my stuff ended up all the way over here far away from my light. Well, that's not too useful, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the label legend manager. We're going to highlight general, and then we're going to hit edit 2D layout. And this is going to bring us into a screen, and it gives us a little description: format and arrange the labels around the light. So I'm going to take the unit number and I'm going to put it right smack in the middle of the body. I'm going to take the color and I'm going to put that on the barrel. Now, it's difficult to line this up correctly. So what I actually do is I actually take a line, which you can delete afterwards, and go from the insertion point, which is the center of the light, and just make a nice line for things to snap to. And then I can just go color, snap to that, great. And then you have your container here for your channel, which we're going to put here, and then channel there. Now you can also do things like adjust the size of this circle, which you may need to do if you have numbers of higher numbers of channels or that sort of thing, you might need to make this circle a little bit bigger. I'm going to actually just make it bigger because I know that I think we used hundreds. But you can adjust these to be whatever you want to make these, the right sizes. So now that I've hit that, and this is what the sort of base template's going to look like, I'm going to delete my guideline, and I hit exit symbol. And now the slide is here. Now I've noticed, right, this is above some seats. Now, when I'm drafting, I might want to gray these out or wireframe them or something that would make this a little bit easier to read, but I want to make sure that I'm always going to be able to read that. So I'm going to go back into Spotlight, Label Legend Manager, General. I'm going to edit the fields, and I'm going to go to unit number or to color, and I'm going to hit rectangle. Edit 2D layout. And now we have a little rectangle that automatically populates in our color. Edit to symbol, and now it's here. And again, you can make this box a little bit bigger in the Label Legend Manager and the layout tool, so it totally encompasses this. But this allows it so that you always have that there. And you also can edit things like, do you want to have an outline, that sort of thing. But for channels, I pretty much always say have it in a little circle because that's fairly universal. But the nice thing is now we have this, we can highlight all of the lights we want to assign the label to, right click, assign label to Label Legend, General, OK. And now we have all of our lights with the channel information and unit information. So what I like about this is that we are now able to see what we're modifying as we go. So I actually create my label legends as one of the first things in my document, and then everything has a label legend, even if it's not necessarily the right one for that position or that light. That way I can at least see everything that I'm doing as I'm Command Option Shift and adding information or through the object info, just sort of seeing how everything relates. Right now everything's been done right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unit numbers look good, and then 1, 102, 103. That was how I channeled previously. So that's Label Legend Manager. And all you're going to do this week is just go in and create 2 lighting positions. One is a truss, one is a lighting pipe. And just add 5 lights to each of those, give them proper unit numbers, channel them, and make a little label legend, and give them some color. And that's all you're going to have to do. And next week we're going to worry about actually making sure that those lights do what we need them to do on the stage. So good luck. And let me know if you need any help.